Everybody, it's John with another knot tying video. This here is the Triple Fisherman's knot. Now, the name is the Triple Fisherman's knot, but technically it is a bend. And of course, a bend is a special type of knot which unites two ropes or joins the ends of the same rope to create a loop. And so you may hear it referred to as the Triple Fisherman's bend, and you may just hear it referred to as the Triple Fisherman's. So you'll always got to take that in context when you're hearing the names of those knots. But it is, it's the Triple Fisherman's rather than its cousin, the double, because when you inspect it, it's got 6 bars, and where its cousin, the Double Fisherman's, has only 4. The knot itself, and I haven't drawn this one really tight because they're very difficult to untie, but after they've been loaded. But if you inspect it in this direction, you'll see the 6 bars, and they're all angled the same way. If 3 were angled the other direction, it's not tied properly. So you've got to look out for that when you inspect it. And on the back side, all the parts just kind of mate together perfectly. That's how you know you've got a properly tied Triple Fisherman's. And I always leave substantial tails, in this case about 4 inches or so, when I'm tying these knots. If you watch knot tying, actually knot strength videos and how they fail, knots generally fail by having these tails getting sucked into the knot. It's always a best practice to leave several inches of tail. Okay, so I'm going to take this apart, and again, this was not drawn tight. You wouldn't want to try this. Wouldn't be that easy if you've had your life on that knot. So I'm going to undo it and start over. Okay, so the first thing you need to know is that this knot tends to consume a fair amount of rope. And so what I do, I know from my own body dimensions, when I keep my elbows on my hips and my hands straight out, that's about 18 inches of rope. And so that's approximately the length I'm going to be tying the knot with. So I overlap the two ends of this continuous rope, and I measure out about 18 inches here. And at that point where the 18 inches, I start by taking the working end of the rope, and I'm going to start in an overhand fashion. It's important to remember what direction you're going. So I'm going over 1 full turn, over a 2nd full turn, over a 3rd full turn, and then I'm going to, I left a little slack in there. See a little slack in there because I'm going to be taking the tail end and feeding it back through. And because it's a triple, I have to feed it back through 3 bars. Okay. So that's the one side. I'm not going to draw it really tight. And I want to give myself plenty of room to work with. So even though I'm going to measure out about 18 inches here to work with, I'm going to pull out a little bit more. So I've got some room to work. Okay, so there's about 18 inches of rope. Apologize for the field of view issues. I'm doing this solo tonight. And I am going to do the same thing. Now what's important is that we go the right direction. So if you notice what I did on this side is I was going in an overhand fashion. And if I wanted to tie this knot by holding it in this position without flipping it around, I would need to continue the sequence but in an underhand fashion. And that's why you'll see most people, and I agree, it's easier to always just stay consistent and then flip this around, grab your 18 inches, and continue in an overhand fashion. So here's the same thing. I'm basically repeating the same operation 1, 2, 3 full turns until I've got 3 bars to slide this working end through. I want to make that just a little snug, make this guy a little snug, and then I'm going to draw these together, and they usually just make together perfectly. So you'll see I've got the 6 bars all going the same direction. Looks good. Apply a little bit more pressure. Look at the back side. I'm going to bring that in close to the camera so you can inspect it. Now, if you're using this in a climbing system, which you need to be a precise length, before you load it, you should probably kind of test it out and make sure you don't need to draw any length out of this, because it is quite difficult to untie once you've loaded it. And but it's very secure. I believe the efficiency is in approximately 80% range, which is good as you'll find in just about any knot, which all knots inherently are weaker than the rope itself. So there you have the Triple Fisherman's knot, sometimes referred to as the Triple Fisherman's bend. Safe and secure for life safety, as is its cousin, the double. I do prefer the triple only because of the fact that it's supposedly a little stronger, and it's supposedly a little easier to untie. Okay, there you have it. Thank you.